in America too.
That too.
To where, you listen to an old person my dad's age, when they talk about, their woman or wives, they're almost like things. She does this, she cooks and cleans and does this. Well, do you help her? No. It's not my job. That's a woman's job.
Objects.
Yeah.
Right. So,
All right.
I get it.
But maybe that can contribute to mental health. Like
mental health,
because
or
maybe like
learned behavior.
It's a learned. It's almost like classical conditioning. If this is what you've watched and what you've learned, because I mean, think about babies. When we're babies, we don't know anything. Only fundamental thing we know is don't hurt ourselves. Ow, that hurts. But everything else, we're taught. We're essentially wild animals when we're born. We're just, we're human, and things are taught. So as you get older, if this is the roles that you're learning, that as a man you do A, B, and C, and women do D, E, F. That's what you think women do.
This is what we go with. Like, so I don't know if I think there's a fine line between what is learned and what is genetic versus nature versus nurture versus what we are taught versus what is going on up here. So I mean, that's, as Sherelle, us in this field that we work in, social work, it's like, which one is it? Which one tipped the scale? Is it nature or is it nurture? Like, you know what I mean? So I feel that it's a very fine line. And sometimes that we put mental health sometimes on things that are learned. Yeah. And it's not that, people, I think some things are not maliciously done, but there's just something that, people are used to doing. Yeah. So
and that's how we come about in life. Everything is perspective. I mean, there's people that, because you worship God, think you're crazy. think he's like, how he's like, God talks to me. He's like, so you hear voices in your head. You're a schizo. You're crazy. he said, oh man, I found $20. I'm blessed. No, you were just lucky.
So, number 4. Final.
Exactly.
Moving on.
Just saying. I'm just saying.
True.
It is the truth. It is the truth.
So what are some ways to address and combat mental illness? What are some coping mechanisms, and why is it important?
I mean, to combat mental illness, I mean, is being more so open and receptive, to people's actions and behaviors, even, when it comes to your own, mental health. And, it's understanding, when something's not right. And, being open to getting help, because, there's always a stigma of, getting help is a bad thing. Or now because you went to get, because you went and got help, now you have a label. And people don't want a label. Unless it's a good one.
Also, I know for me, in terms of my growth with addressing people with mental health issues, is making sure that you have an understanding that it may not be real for you, but it is real for that person, whatever that situation is. And being able to approach it in a way where you're not condescending or you're not dismissive about that.
Yeah. Kind of to go along with what you just said, normalizing it, even for yourself, being okay with not being okay.
Mm-hmm. Taking the stigma out of it.
Yeah, because I think sometimes we don't want to ever admit that we're not okay or that we don't have this under control. And so if you normalize that the fact that we all got some kind of mental health something going on, it's varying degrees, but if you acknowledge that and remind yourself, like, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to tap out sometimes. I think that's a way to kind of address it and combat it. Therapy. So during my bout of depression and anxiety, I started going to therapy, and I still go every other week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
okay.
a thing.
That's okay to talk to somebody about your problems.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to internalize them. And I think a lot of people, like, they like John said, they don't want that label of, oh, you go see the crazy, you go see because you crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, I'm not crazy. Like, I just know that I need help. Like, there's nothing wrong with understanding that you need help, and that is, it's okay. It's okay.
Or even just understanding, like you said, that you're an internalizer. Like, I know for me, when I was going through all of that, I internalize. I'll deal with, okay, I'll figure it out. Okay, I'll deal with it. All right, I'll figure that out too. You know, and before you know it, you're bubbling over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, if you just have, when it comes to therapy, if you just have somebody just to shoot those ideas out to get those thoughts out to, you know, a
Mm-hmm.
safe place that you can just take it from in here and put it out there, you know.
Or just let loose and just be able to talk, because, you know, we're also like, I don't know about for men, but for women, we can't talk about our issues with certain other women because they will run your business to the world. And it's like, you know, we already are in a vulnerable situation where we don't want people to know everything, but, you know, we need to speak and talk to somebody, and we can't do that. As women, we have to be very careful at who we run our business to, because sometimes it would just be like, you know, oh, I just need to talk to somebody, and you go and call so-and-so, and so-and-so's like, yeah, girl, yeah, I understand. Oh, girl, yes. And then it's like, all right, I'll talk to you later. And then they on the phone with some, like, girl, you should hear what so-and-so just told me. And she doing this and she doing that. And she got this problem. She got that problem. And it's like, oh, yeah. And then next thing you know, you hear your business out with somebody else.
Yep.
So
yeah, but that's the gossip circle there. That's
yeah, but what I'm saying is like, you know, I know that I could tell Sherelle something that's going on with me, and I know that Sherelle's not gonna go and tell everybody.
Well, I mean,
but
it's nice because not everybody has someone to confide in.
And that's what I'm saying. So, like, you know, and when you don't have nobody, that's why a lot of people internalize, because they don't have that somebody.
Or, you know, sometimes there's people in there you could confide in, but a lot of people don't want to be looked upon as weak. And, you know, that's a stigma when, you know,
weaklings.
If you're not, you know, handling your shit, as people like to put it.
That sounds like a man perspective.
Yeah, well, it's because as a man, you know, we're taught we gotta look and be strong at all times.
Yeah, there's not a lot of support for guys to speak about, you know, their mental health issues at all. So.
Right. I can agree with that. And on a woman's perspective, that's what I was saying, as far as like us being able to talk, like, because we're talkers, we talk. So, but sometimes talking to the wrong people could, you know, send that, you know, the snapping of the twig.
You got that one.
So.
Yeah, but I mean.
Sherelle, where'd you go? You froze.
What are you over there doing? You got multiple tickets.
Going from screen to screen.
We can't hear you.
Her phone probably died.
My phone overheated.
Oh, it's hot.
Okay. It is hot out there.
Yeah. So another coping mechanism is music. We got the emo kids. You know, they got that music out where they just talking about how sad and depressed and lonely they are. So that's a thing now.
Yeah, well, hey, The Weeknd to me is like emo R&B, man. He's never happy with none of this stuff.
Yeah.
No.
But if you listen to a lot of R&B, you know, even of yesteryear, you know, there are people just crying.
John calls Drake a crier.
Cause he crying. You
Well, see,
listen
that's
to
his niche, though. That's his niche, though. He's the sensitive. That's his niche, and he's sticking with it. He's sticking with it because it's making him money.
Hey, that's a coping mechanism.
It is.
I know for me, church can be, it can be sometimes if I go to a traditional, if I go to a Sunday, on a Sunday morning, it can be a coping mechanism for me. Or even if I stay home and like I look up a sermon online that pertains to whatever issue I'm going through. Say I'm lonely. Say I need some information on career and I'm devastated about what my next move would be. I can literally type that in online of what I want to hear about and what I want my sermon to be about. And then I can also skip through all the fluff. Like if I don't want to deal with praise and worship today, I don't need it. I can get right to the message. If I like the hypeness of that, because sometimes being there, being in the hype, listening to the positive music or being in a circle of prayer, people praying for you for something you're going through, that can be a supportive coping mechanism. I know for me.
Another thing like that could help with like support is having a mental health day, a day to yourself, reflection, meditation, kind of just like, you know, getting out there and maybe doing something that you haven't done for yourself in a while. And whether that be, you know, I'm going to get a massage or going to go get your nails or your toes done, or like, you know,
it's okay to do stuff by yourself.
Yeah, that too.
Have you ever gone to the movies by yourself? That's like the coolest to do that. Just go to the movies by yourself. I've done it. It's awesome.
Plenty of times after work, or I'll just go and have a drink to unwind.
Right.
Can't really. That you got to do in moderation, because you mess around, and if that's your coping mechanism, you mess around and be alcohol.
We're on the floor.
Be somewhere laying.
You know, so.
Like, what you doing? Like, you had a good time? I sure did.
I had too good of a time.
Do it in moderation. Sex
yes.
is
a reliever.
Mm-hmm. Stress reliever.
Not with everybody and anybody.
Hey, don't judge the fruitful.
See, you slut shaming horrible, Sherelle.
No, because sometimes that can add more stress to your life.
Yeah, that whole 9 months later.
That's different.
But I'm just saying, that's why I say you can't have sex with just anybody.
I mean, you can. They have
right,
a bunch of things for that. It's like, girl, you better pop a plan B and let's do this.
Stress producer.
If you popping plan B's beforehand, that's you.
I feel that's how you should be. Like, girl, we about to have a time tonight. You got your little bottle of liquor,
Yo,
your little Rite Aid bag with your plan B. Like, we about to get it on tonight. He said, what we ain't doing, pulling out. We all in.
Oh, that's funny.
Another thing is, like, I know, like when we have our game nights, that's the stress. Like, just getting away, hanging with friends. We ain't even gotta be out nowhere. We just playing some games. I'm losing. You know, it's fun.
Competition can be a nice stress reliever. You can go ahead and dive into video games.
That's true and untrue, because them spade games, that's tense. That's pressure.
They'll stress me back out again. Like, me too much.
And Sherelle and her Uno. Sherelle love her some Uno.
But game night, it goes from it be relieving, but then there be stresses because of competitiveness, so people get mad when they start losing. And
at least you get mad when you start losing?
No.
A sore loser.
That's exactly what the type of people say. They're like, no, I never get mad. And they kick over the Monopoly board.
I don't want to play no more.
Right.
I'll be the one that say I don't want to play no more. I'll be over it. Also, like what Lo said, you know, checking you where you are mentally and emotionally throughout the day, just like you check your sugar. Like mental health check-ins with yourself. Like, dang, what are my triggers? How am I feeling right now? Like, checking in with yourself. And then to me, like, what you do when you're not in that bout of depression, anxiety, bipolarism, when you're not in that episode, what you're doing then is what is going to help you combat that later. So like, I feel myself tensing up, I'm going to get a massage. That's what I do. Or I'm going to get me a nice dinner because I feel it coming. Or let me separate myself right now because I feel something happening. Or let me journal. Whatever your thing is.
Let me call Sherelle so I get this off my chest so it don't make me feel like I'm crazy. Okay. I need somebody that's going to agree with me.
Even when you wrong, if you got that, right. Like, yeah, okay, I'm coming to get them. We about to go get
right.
them. You know?
Like, you dead wrong. Like, you know, me and my one friend, like, our whole thing, you know, we would do the whole crazy girl thing, but we would do it and then just laugh about it. Like, you know, especially when it was about another man. Like, you know, we'd be talking about, oh, let's go get in the car. She was like, we're going to take your car because I don't want him to know that I'm out here looking for him. And we'd be out just, and then where would we end up? We wouldn't even be looking for him. We would be ended up at the bar laughing, having a drink, not even thinking about him. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
it's just.
She was still thinking about him. You wasn't because that wasn't your problem.
But it's still one of those things where it's like, yeah, we can, you know, it's nice to have that one friend that can come and be there and, you know, do the crazy with you and laugh. You can laugh about it later, or, you know,
maybe even if you got that friend where y'all just rip on each other.
Right.
Just take your mind
out. There's not enough of that going on. Everybody else. See, that's what me and my friends do. We had a lot of fun with that, man. Just tearing each other down and laughing about it.
Right. Having a good time, just laughing. Sometimes it just takes that. Like, just going to somebody's house so you could just laugh at. Like, just cut up.
I know I was laid up chilling watching that trash movie, and it was kind of therapeutic.
Oh, that's the best.
Sometimes there's nothing better than a terrible movie.
Oh, I love it. I love watching horrible movies.
Yes.
And making fun of it and laughing about the fact that someone made this.
When you know it's going to be horrible. That's
right. It's awesome.
If you expect something else, then you know.
Right. See, that's why I watch blaxploitation films on purpose. They're horrible. And they're hilarious for that.
Oh, dude, blaxploitation is so funny.
Exactly. It's the best. It's the best. In fact, I think I told Sherelle this. Like, I try to find the worst blaxploitation films I can find. I don't want the best one. I don't want Shaft and Foxy Brown. Those are too good. I want the worst I can. They are hilarious.
They are.
I think that's why, like, those movies that they did, like, what was that movie? Scream, and they did like the funny version
Scary
of it.
Movie.
Scary movie.
Well, parodies, parodies.
And they made fun of like every movie and like all the dumb stuff that happens in these movies, and it's like,
yeah. Well, that's what Black Dynamite was about. Black Dynamite was a parody of blaxploitation films.
Black Dynamite, even though it was making fun of black exploitation, is actually really an excellent movie.
It is. But they're making fun of it, man. It's hilarious.
Love Black Dynamite so much. You know what?
You don't like Black Dynamite.
I want to get in like boxing or something. Like, I would love to like get that energy out.
Exercise is a good, you know, reliever, and it's like, because you like lose all that energy that you had putting towards whatever problem that you had, and you just end up going to sleep because you literally are so drained that you can't even think about your problem. You're drained to the point where your problem don't even matter. It's like, man, I'm just going to bed. Like, I'll do it tomorrow. Forget it.
same as like for those who I can't relate, but for those who exercise consistently, you know, it becomes a kind of a coping mechanism for those people who do that. I can't relate, but you know.
I mean, it's not your coping mechanism, but it's something to put out there for. Sometimes people don't, like, whenever you're so stressed, you can't think of things to try to help yourself relieve yourself from like where you're at. It's so hard.
People say like the angrier you are, the dumber you are, and it's literally true. It's biologically true. Like
it's because you're not thinking.
Your brain doesn't function the same way. That's why it's important to have these things in place. Because hurt people hurt people.
Yep.
These are facts.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Any final thoughts? Mental health, Kanye West, and R. Kelly.
You know what? I liked this episode. It was great debates, you know, nothing but love. But like, it's nice to have like different perspectives and, you know, really get them out there to talk, because a lot of people don't talk about mental health, and it's one of those touchy subjects, especially within the Black community. It's like, oh no, they ain't crazy, they just, you know, that's just who he is.
He's touched.
Right, he's special. No, he's special.
I know technology can really play on your mental health, because all these little technical difficulties I'm having, I was over here going crazy.
Right.
But it was still a fun episode nonetheless.
Right.
Yeah.
Mike, any final words?
Final words. I want everyone out there to go ahead and do some self-care this week. Just do something, big or small. Just do something just for yourself.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we want to thank our special guest, John Page.
You know, I stop by every now and then.
We got Terrell. Be Mike.
Hey, yo.
And I'm your girl, Sherelle Unique. And
Sherelle. Whoa.
All right, we out of here.
Deuces.
Later.
I'll see ya.
Ah.
You're out.